Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back with the final round of Swiss contention of the Reddit non-meta tournament. We have two heavy hitters up today, Filthy Weeb 22, aka Avril21, playing DDD, and Sir Eminon, who we've previously featured, playing Odd Eyes. They were very insistent that I show this match, so I'm very excited to do so with my partner in crime, Mr. Hardleg Gaming.
You cannot prove that I have done any crimes.
That is actually untrue. I have documented evidence of your consistent tax evasion.
Oh, snap. Well.
Why do you think Hardleg's commentating?
But yes, it looks. If I'm not mistaken, didn't the Odd Eyes deck lose last time?
Yeah, so Sir Eminon lost the match that we had them on camera, and then proceeded to win literally every other match. They've been undefeated since that point.
Even though he has Odd Eyes Wizard Dragon.
Yeah, Odd Eyes Wizard Dragon, I was told, will be a power player in this match, so I'm on the edge of my seat trying to figure out what it will be used for.
I think even if I see it, I won't believe it.
Right now we're just doing standard DDD stuff. Savant Kepler, of course, searches a gate on normal summon, and gate can be used to search another DDD. The archetype just all searches itself, but the problem with it is that most of its combos are 3 or 4 card, and end on boards that are pretty much indistinguishable from anything else any broken combo deck could be doing.
Yeah. It's like, because you're pretty much locked into just the DDD stuff, and they have a couple neat negates, but, I mean, there's enough generic negates that I don't really feel like there's a reason to be playing DDDs over them.
In fact, old DDD combos used to go through normal generic negators, stuff like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, but this card specifically has really turned that on its head. DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh lets you set scales when it's summoned, but it hard locks you into DDs. It looks like we're going for Go! Divine Zero King Rage, a card that I've literally never heard of.
I did not think that this had come out yet. This is actually pretty brutal, especially if you can summon it. Although he's just using it as scale, but still scale 0.
I mean, that's pretty good.
If you normal summon a level 5 or higher DD monster, you could do it without tributing, which can actually be kind of important for some of the things like Abyss Ragnarok, who gets effects when it's normal summoned.
So we're ending on some of the High Kings. Gust High King Alexander. This is going to trigger the effect of DD Cerberus, targeting the Savant Kepler to make it level 4, so we can also end on a Wave King Caesar. Finally, it looks like we're performing a Link Summon. A second Gilgamesh? I guess that makes sense. It allows the flow.
Effect when it's sent to the graveyard.
Fine. Swamp King will end on what? I remember they used to go for the 8-star that Heavy Stormed. No, just a Genghis. Oh, we're actually not done comboing.
Oh no, not even that slightly.
All right, here comes Wave King, here comes Genghis.
Try to get into High Genghis. Oh no.
And here's High King Caesar.
High Caesar.
And we're going to end on Marksman King Tell, another card I'm unfamiliar with.
Oh, let's see. Once per turn during either player's turn, if you took effect damage, you can detach, target a monster, it loses 1,000 attack, inflict 1,000. Yeah, that doesn't seem very particularly useful to me.
Well, it's good if it's time in the round, which of course it is right now.
I mean, High King Caesar can do some stuff. That's got a monster negate. I remember when I was making those, it was if you wanted to go against Nibiru, you had to make Caesar first before you did the rest of your combos.
This is kind of cool, using King Tell's floating effect off of the 3rd summon of Gilgamesh to send a Lamia to the graveyard, then summoning the Lamia so we can go into a Cursed King Siegfried. These are so incomprehensible to me. I mean, I played this deck back when it was reasonably popular, when Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon was first being integrated into lines and there weren't Link monsters yet, the very end of, like, Master Rule 3, and these combos are just completely outside of my scope of understanding.
It's really amazing with DDDs how, like, just adding 1 or 2 cards doesn't just improve the deck, it completely changes the combo lines you go into a lot of times.
This was kind of the first, like, very difficult combo deck. I believe there were, like, I want to say dozens of pages and tons of ink spilt about how you could most effectively navigate things that would just, of course, end up losing to an Ash Blossom.
Yep, and there's the monster negate coming out. So he's still got the spell trap negate. And of course, High King Alexander, because he's got all the DDDs, has 6,000 attack. Wow. And Gilgamesh has a floating effect, so...
This is quite frustrating for Sir Eminon. Of course, one of the reasons why Odd Eyes is so absolutely powerful is that it's very easy to just run over mid-tier bosses. When they all have 6,000 attack, that's not exactly the case.
Only one of them has 6,000 attack, fortunately.
All right, so we're
The
going to
other
go for
two
the
should be fine.
Duelist Alliance here. That's going to fiend the Siegfried negate. And Eminon's thinking, I mean, I don't see the way out.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Spiral Flame Strike. So you can get something. Oh, he's just going to use it to destroy.
All right, so that's going to trigger the effect of Caesar to get Swamp King to hand. I mean, that basically tells you you've got one turn to figure this out. But they are out of negates, if I'm not mistaken. That said, there's not really much going in the hand.
Yeah, you've got 2,700, and the only thing you can beat over is Gilgamesh, and you don't want to do that.
All right, looks like we're going for the Siegfried here. That's kind of funny.
To trigger the... Okay. Arc
So-
Pendulum. I did not think about that. And there's the Wizard Dragon.
Okay, so if this is in your hand, you contribute a Dark Monster, descend an Odd Eyes from your hand, deck, or face-up field to the graveyard to special it. If it's destroyed by an opponent's card, which it's being done right now, you can special an Odd Eyes from your deck or graveyard and add a Spiral Flame Strike to hand.
All right.
Ooh, so we'll get Dissolver and Flame Strike. Okay. And Flame Strike does not have an OPT.
Are we going to see... Does he have... He does have it. I always love this card.
This is cute.
Very... Oh, no.
And as they go for Dissolver, down comes Effect Veiler. OP, dude.
Yep.
Oh, man.
No Gatling Ghoul today.
Alright, well, Flame Strike will have to pop the Siegfried, but, oh, man. This still seems like the end of the game.
Hard to say, hard to leg. I mean, he's got a lot of damage. Oh no, if he can he pendulum summon Reiji? What level is he?
Not between 0 and 6, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, they're good then.
Alright, so we're gonna go for the Swamp
fusion
King.
summon.
There's not much left in the extra for what it's worth. 5 cards remaining. But High King Genghis is pretty good. That'll trigger Gust High King Alexander, bring back Siegfried, and prompt concession.
There you go. And that's the way we wash our hands.
I mean, that's pretty much par for the course. Sir Eminon is not really in the business of playing a lot of hand traps. They want to walk over existing boards rather than dismantle them before they get set up. If uninterrupted, DDD can end on some of the most frightening boards in the history of time, especially in a non-meta tournament where you don't have all of the really powerful cards that can cut back against them. As bad as that game was, I don't think Eminon's in a particularly bad position.
No, and I mean, with Odd Eyes, the thing about them is that though they are better at OTKing, they can still put on quite a few negates.
Yeah, I guess we're going to see it here.
Or Spheres.
Hieratic Spheres pass.
Never mind.
Well, no. Eminon's playing around Double Dark Ruler.
No, none of that.
Okay, well, so Double Dark Ruler actually isn't particularly good. Spheres plays around Dark Ruler, of all things, and Odd Eyes Wizard Dragon triggers in the graveyard as well. Okay. Alright, so we're going for the Fusion Summon.
He doesn't have a whole lot of stuff to start his combo when you just have 2 DD cards.
Yeah, like, so here's the Genghis. I mean, that's
and
it, right?
From there? Yeah.
Wow, they drew so much stuff to interrupt Eminon's combo, but didn't understand that Eminon is just not playing a combo deck.
Yep, just attack over it.
And, of course, that effect is negated, but the effect to summon isn't, so we'll go ahead and get a Dark Worm and trigger its effect to get a gate 0 for next turn. Fun that this card has 7 stars, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so we can just make Sloth and pass, huh? We're just gonna...
Just doing some math, just doing a little...
Phantom Dragon, for what it's worth, simplifies a lot of math. It gets to deal a ton of damage to your opponent based on the Odd Eyes in your Pendulum zones. I can't imagine this isn't lethal, but even if it isn't, I mean, they're just dead by virtue of not having any DDDs.
I mean, 500, 25, 18, and then he'll do 25 and then burn for 12, and that's all she wrote.
Wow. Okay, so 2 very quick games. Hopefully the third one is a little more back and forth. But I wouldn't imagine it.
That would be nice, yeah.
What I like about non-meta tournaments is that meta decks have so little back and forth. It's great to see such fantastic back and forth as I drew 4 hand traps and now I'm dead. But again, this is the problem with DDD. This is why you don't see it represented at high levels of competition, is that the cards that are necessary to keep you alive make your hands so much worse, and DDD needs every single card in their hand to do anything competent.
It's one of those decks you pretty much have to play pure, and then going second, you're just like, what are you going to do? Pretty much nothing.
Like, if you didn't have the Called by the Grave here, and Emanon had an Ash, this would be the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going for the Savant Kepler here. It's going to fire, and Flame King is going to bring back Copernicus. We're going to get Dark Contract with the Gate. This is the part of the combo that I do remember. We'll send a Necro Slime.
So you get a Fusion, you get a Search.
Baphomet. Jeez, wow, we're really deep in on playables, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, out comes Gil, and now we'll be able to Pendulum Summon. I guess a lot of these kind of bad DDDs that are just normal monsters get a lot more playable when you're able to Pendulum Summon them from the hand with the free Gilgamesh.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of cards that, like, become more playable just by nature of being able to put them in the Pendulum Zone from the deck.
Oh, yeah. Case in point, go!
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to make Kepler a level 6, and then go for a Wave King Caesar. I think we're going to see the exact same play we saw last time after we fire off this Necro Slime.
Yep.
Out comes Big
there's
Caesar.
The High Genghis.
And there's Marksman King Tell. Take 1,000, fool.
Why not?
Go into a second Gilgamesh. It's kind of weird that you can summon this so many times in one turn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a hard once per turn effect, but you just have so many DDDs that are like, if a DD is summoned, do a thing.
And
so being able to make that very advantageous.
Apparently the entire Xyz line floats if it's sent to the graveyard, even for a Link summon. It stands to reason that if you had like a DDD Link 3, this deck might be really good, even if the card was a vanilla.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh!
Bright Armageddon!
Alright, I've literally never seen this thing summoned.
So, basically, it prevents all his monsters from being targeted.
Oh, that's
it's got
really strong.
3,500. Yeah.
Does it stand up to a Comungus?
No. Not in the slightest.
How about 2 Comungus?
Well, I mean, realistically, well, I mean, that's the thing, though. Do you want to... I guess he's probably going to have to use it on the High Caesar, because that can negate his monster effects.
So we've got 1 monster negate and pretty much nothing else. The Super Doom King Bright, of course, is a consideration, but I don't think it'll be sticking around.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to think, because the thing about Odd Eyes is that they can attack for pretty high amounts, but getting over 3,500 that can't be targeted might be a problem for them.
Oh, wait.
So he might have to burn the Kaiju on that and then also bait out the negation.
Not only does Super Doom King Bright Armageddon prevent targeting, you can make your opponent choose a pendulum monster they control, and their other monsters' effects are negated? This is pendulum-specific hate.
I never noticed that, but that's because in all the time I played it, I never went up against a pendulum deck.
Well, they are going for the Wave High King Caesar, and a Dark Contract with the Gate follows, of course. Gonna normal summon a Super Green King Dragon Darkworm. That's a valid target for the Bright Armageddon. I mean, we might see that activated.
Possibly. Although... Oh.
Out comes Bright Armageddon and Sky Iris here. We are going to go ahead and fire Arc Pendulum Dragon, and we're going to go for the Iris targeting the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, getting a Phantom. I guess maybe we'll burn it out of this, and trigger the Arc to summon, what, a Persona?
Possibly.
Wizard! For the third game in a row!
Wizard, yet again!
Alright, we're going to set the Phantom Dragon and, proceed to battle phase? We'll go Pendulum 3 first, starting with a Pendulum Dragon, and are we actually pendulum the Comungus? We are. Fantastic.
It's a level 7, so he's got even more. He's got Ixie material.
So now White Armageddon can fire.
But that just negates the monster effects of everything else, right?
Alright, so it looks like the Emanon is going to choose Gate 0.
Okay. feels a little bit premature because he could still Ixie summon, he could still do
Wait.
other stuff.
Oh my god. It's not premature because it's not once per turn.
Oh.
It's any time a monster is summoned, you can make them choose a pendulum monster they control and the rest have their effects negated. Oh my
Interesting.
god. What the heck? I've never seen this.
I don't think it comes up very often.
I would imagine not. Oh,
and
man.
called by damage step.
Nope. You wish. Alright, so we'll go for a wizard here. I don't even know what you would summon. Arc Pendulum, fine, and Flame Strike to hand.
And then just crashing more things. Didn't he already activate, Oh, he's using Phantom in Scale to boost up by 1200.
Broken. Alright, so now this monster can get over the most annoying card I've ever read in my entire life. And it looks like we can clean up everything but the Gill. Man, do you even want to let them have the float? Depends on what combo, contingencies Sir Eminon has past this point.
Well, I forget, I think... no, it has to be battle with an opponent's attacking monster, so Gil can't even, crash to get the float.
Yeah, it's very difficult to proc this on purpose. And Dracosack! Oh, God. Are there even any good Link 4s in this format?
And now he's going to Called by the Grave on Arc Pendulum.
Targeting Arc Pend. Realistically, I mean, I understand you keep Called in even in games 2 and 3 as the DDD player because they're probably on hand traps, but Called versus Pendulum, God, it feels so bad.
And there goes the Link summon, and now he's probably wishing he had saved the Called for Absolute Dragon.
Yeah, for real. Oh, sheesh. Alright, out comes Vortex. We're going to go ahead and bounce. Oh!
Bounce.
I was hoping they would bounce the Kumongous. It would have been funnier.
Yeah.
And then, just for good measure...
Train. Okay.
Let's get this card out of here, too.
Well...
Wow.
That puts him in a bit of a tricky pickle, and the other Called by the Grave.
Ain't that how it always goes? That seems like it's the end of the game.
Yep. Unfortunately, no Gatling Ghoul like I was really hoping, but we still got to see Pendulums do some neat things.
Yeah.
I mean, is that really, though, all that Wizard Dragon is just crash to float?
Well, it for what it's worth, it crashed to float 3 times this set. Alright, going for...
He did activate it.
Going for Big Dungus. Eminon's thinking and says, okay, this card's negation is actually not particularly good.
Oh, no.
Alright, go into the battle phase, and, yeah, Kumongous, walk over the token. You got it, buddy. If I was Eminon, I would even consider letting the Mecha Phantom Beast die. Who really cares?
Yeah. I mean, he could just main phase 2, use the spheres, and then just set up for the OTK next turn.
I mean, we know the gate is in hand, so we do have to keep the spheres for that. Yep, and that's what we're doing. Ooh, and Called by the Grave in response, but unfortunately, we do have the Vortex still.
Yep.
That was almost
one card
cool.
in the extra deck.
And then on Seal, we'll get the Aether. The Aether will, of course, banish the Big Bungus.
I did not even notice that in his deck list.
Wow. Alright, well, that looks like the end of the game. If there's any deck that can make an OTK out of nowhere, it's going to be Odd Eyes.
Pretty much any Pendulum deck. Most of them, I mean, that's their big thing, isn't it? Just the comeback, the swing of the pendulum.
In retrospect, it's actually a really good idea to make an anime with a Pendulum player as the main character. You can just come back from anything.
Oh, yeah. Especially, pre-Master Rule 4. And he made Supreme King Dragon Clearwing.
This is a card
that
was...
seen summoned.
Really? I used to see it all the time during Pendulum formats. There was a very specific point in time where this was the most annoying thing Pendulum decks were doing. It was like, oh, you just get a Regeki from the extra deck and you can make it at any time? Fine.
Oh boy.
Well,
yeah, of course, at this point it's just a win harder card, but at least we got to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, and with that, Eminon proves the doubters wrong and moves on to top 16. We're going to be taking a look at those matches and fiending stuff from there. I will warn you, a significant amount of them are DDD, Thunder Dragon, and Hero. So keep that in mind when requesting things in the comments.
Ah, interesting. I look forward to seeing more DDDs. I'm interested to see what made it to the top 16, if it was similar to this or completely different.
Can we get a more janky Super Doom King than White Armageddon? Can you summon Purpley? Let me know.
I want to see purpley and black and whitish. I want to see all three of them.
Oh God, I don't. All right, see you next time.